Do people even care about politics in 2024? Comparing this to 2015, 2016, when Donald Trump famously went down the escalator at Trump Tower, and back when Trump was not the front runner in the Republican Party, and the mainstream media would actually pretend to be objective, Trump would still go on these mainstream media shows, and there would be viral moments like this that would happen all the time.
And it says,
don't be naive. You're a very naive person.
The Pew Research says that there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead.
In fact, Trump mocked people at a libertarian convention just a few days ago, and people have been talking about it for days.
The Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for President of the United States. Whoa. Thank you. No, only do that if you want to win. If you want to lose, don't do that. Keep getting your 3% every 4 years.
But moments like this happened seemingly every single day in the lead up to the 2016 election. And the world started to ask, is this Trump guy actually going to win? What the heck? Sure, Trump is still talked about a lot in 2024, but he does not monopolize the news cycle nearly to the degree he did in 2016. In 2016, he was the number one story all the time and by far. And I think this is in part now due to the fact that he's the favorite to win, so he doesn't really need to go on as often, or at least he doesn't think he does probably, the hostile environments like CNN, NBC, or the Libertarian National Convention, like, for example, recently. Just showing a few examples of Trump's willingness to talk to the other side, or whatever you want to call it, like he did at that Libertarian Convention, or that CNN Trump town hall he did a few months ago.
The president didn't do anything wrong. So
that was
I happen
when you
to
asked
like.
him for an
So I
investigation
happen
in
to
exchange
like.
for
Yeah, that's right.
weapons.
And it was. I was totally exonerated, by the way. Just a waste of time and money.
You were impeached over that. You were impeached over that. But let's stay on topic here, Mr. President, because the question is, would you give Ukraine weapons
I was
and
impeached
funding?
by a crazy woman named Nancy
But
Pelosi.
the question
who said
here
the
is,
things.
would you give Ukraine
Will likely be much more than Joe Biden is going to do with regard to talking to the other side in the lead up to the 2024 election. The quote-unquote mainstream media, because I don't know if it even really is mainstream media anymore. It's becoming less and less mainstream every single day. Doesn't even know how to handle Trump anyway. The Trump derangement syndrome just makes any interview he has with that branch of like the mainstream media this gotcha interview, like someone, like for example, that Don Lemon, Elon Musk recent interview, where the whole interview is just Don Lemon trying to like corner Elon Musk into saying something that he can clip up for his show.
No, I don't love censorship.
Then why are you asking?
I believe in moderation, but I don't believe in
Censorship moderation is a propaganda word for censorship.
But in 2016, as I said, at least the mainstream media pretended to cover both sides, Trump and Hillary Clinton in that case. And the fact that Trump would actually still go on these shows led to basically a viral moment or two every single day as Trump would verbally spar with Chris Cuomo or Katie Tur or whoever when he would go on their shows.
So it was totally misrepresented just now by you, and it was misrepresented, frankly, by NBC.
Hold on,
actually, Chuck Todd.
Now most of the clips of Trump this year are from his rallies, where he's just speaking mostly to people who already support him. And therefore, there's not as many explosive moments where one side's trying to kind of like win or own the other side. And then there was 2020, when the world was locked in their homes, being bombarded with COVID numbers and Fauci speeches. And it's not like people in 2020 had anything better to do anyway, so politics still could be a focal point in everybody's lives. Politics was one of a few things people could actually focus on during that time when major parts of the world were locked down. So now in 2024, are people burnt out? Do people even care right now? I mean, I know people care somewhat, or some people still for sure do care. And I'm also saying there are still major issues people do care about, like wealth inequality, foreign policy, like the wars going on overseas, immigration's a big one recently, etc. But it certainly does not seem like people are into politics as much as they were in 2016 and in 2020. Here's a poll recently showing just how many people say they're exhausted with politics. And by the way, I'm not even sure that this is a bad thing, at least from my view. It seemed as though the entire world was hyper-focused on Trump for many years, about 5 years really, from 2015 to 2020, and then immediately went into being hyper-focused on COVID for about 2.5, 3 years from around 2020 to 2023. it's probably good in many ways that there's not really a singular focus in the world right now, or at least doesn't seem like it. There seems to be many issues that are getting attention all at once, without one humongous issue or person like Trump or COVID drowning out everything else. However, it does make it harder for the demagogues on either side to sell to people that line they say in every election cycle that, oh, this is the most important election of our lifetime. Like in 2016, a popular thought that went around in many Republican circles was the idea of the Flight 93 election.
And you remember Flight 93, the hijacked plane that came down in Pennsylvania. The point of this author was that this country is the equivalent of that hijacked plane right now.
To briefly summarize the Flight 93 election analogy, or at least the logic behind it, was even though Trump, from their point of view, is not the ideal candidate, the alternative was much worse. And I guess it's sort of somehow a callback to the Flight 93 that was grounded on the day of September 11th. But the point of this analogy was basically that the 2016 election was so important and one of the most, if not the most important election of our lifetime. So it's not, you have to basically vote for Trump, even though you may not like him in every single way. I think a lot of people in 2020 too were making a similar case because of all the COVID craziness that was going on that, look, our candidate better win, because if they don't win, then this COVID pandemic is going to be mismanaged and all these people are going to get COVID basically. Anyway, 2020, that was like the height. There was a ton of fear in the air in 2020 around cancel culture, COVID, etc. So I don't know. It seems like in 2024, though, it's going to be hard for either side to really sell that idea that this is the most important election of our lifetime. And to be honest, to me, it doesn't seem like there is as much awareness or political interest, and backed up by that poll I showed recently from Pew, that I think a lot of people just globally, not even just America, are over politics. It was constantly on news for basically because Trump became popular. For so many years, people just like got so into politics, and it seems like so many people are over it. I think there's pros and cons to that. I do think there's also too just a lot of young people that have grown pretty cynical, especially with like the issue of wealth inequality. They just see that, I mean, either side doesn't really matter. Where people in like the millennial Gen Z age bracket are so far behind anyway. So I think there's probably lots of cynicism there, but maybe I'm just wrong. So if you think I'm wrong, let me know your thoughts in the comments. But either way, thank you for watching this video. Have a good day.